So those are a few key things to watch out for. We've enlisted a number of names, but what's the market mood like? What are domestic funds doing? What are the investors, what are the investment managers doing? That's something that we should ask Mahesh Patil as well, co-CIO of Birla Sun Life MF. He joins us right now on the show. Mahesh, good having you as always. Thanks for joining in. We are at elevated levels, so to say, but a check across all various investor forums seems to be suggesting that India globally is still topmost on the minds of global investors. What about domestic investors like you? How are you mapping the market right now?
Well, I think we have seen a good re-rating in our market in the last 3-4 months, and the valuations are now slightly above the long-term average. But I think if you look at a slightly longer-term view, that's when you look at companies and stocks with a 2-year views, then we are clearly at a pace where we are seeing some early signs of recovery in the broad economy, especially in some of the consumer discretionary names like autos, for example, and with earnings growth likely to be better this year and even higher next year, somewhere around 15 to 16% in that range. I think if you take a 2-year view, that the market still looks to be fairly priced. I mean, it's no longer cheap compared to what it was around 6 months back, but Having said that, I think the undervaluation, which was there in a few sectors, that to some extent has been covered up. And going forward, I think a lot of the sectors, would do equally well, whether it is the defenses like pharmaceuticals, IT, or even the cyclicals like, for example, the banking or even autos should do equally well. So the undervaluation is no longer there. I think it will be purely driven by earnings growth. So companies, stocks where the earnings growth would be higher, I think those are stocks which will be outperforming. And our focus really will be more stock specific going forward.
So Mahesh, what is your sense right now? You know, considering the market seems to have got a little bit sideways and volatile of late. Of course, a lot of it is also got to do with the expiry, which is going to play out day after. But what's the sense that you're getting? Is it wise to perhaps profit take from some pockets or individual stocks and keep some powder dry, wait for a correction to happen in the market? What is it that you're, telling investors?
Well, for investors, I think it's important to really give a clear picture in terms of the medium and long-term outlook, because we don't expect investors to really time the market. So from that perspective, I think even while there might be some pause at these levels and we expect some consolidation to happen and even possible some correction depending on the global cues, but I think that would be pretty temporary and it will be very fast and furious. It's difficult for a retail investor to really time that. So I think for retail investors looking at this market with the next 2 to 3 years, we are saying that continue to invest in this market. Clearly from a portfolio management perspective, at these levels, I think we would be a bit cautious, really looking at stock specific opportunities. We don't rule out a correction, a mild correction at these levels, depending on how the global cues turn up. We have seen some weakness in the global markets recently, and considering the fact that the valuations in our markets are pretty slightly on the higher side, and also the fact that India is now slightly over-owned in terms of the global context. If you look at the weight of India in the emerging market portfolios, it's at historical high levels. So any fluctuations in the global markets or disturbance over there could lead to some volatility in our markets. But I think that is something which we as fund managers would like would manage a portfolio for retail investors. It's really important to really stay invested even at these levels.
Mahesh, stay with us. Lots more to chat about, but I'm going to quickly go across to Mitesh and get in some trading strategies. Mitesh, what's it that you've picked out?
Yeah, the first call is on Tata Motors. We've been discussing the stock. It was a call yesterday as well. Now at current price, we bought the stock below 525 for targets of around 575. I've got a buy on Tata Global with a stock below 168 for targets of 176, and a sell call on Century with a stock above 580, look for targets of 540 here.
So those are 3 top ideas. Mitesh, if you had to nail it down to that one top idea for the day, that's the time of the show right now, that one top idea from both our experts. Mitesh, to you first.
Yeah, early in the morning we had a buy call on ITC. I would recommend that as a top idea. Accumulate around 370 with a stop below 364 for targets of 385.
Okay. Ashwini, what about you? Your top trading idea?
Welspun India had a massive buy yesterday, so that's a buy with a stop of 295, target of 313.
So one futures and one cash idea, Welspun India as well as ITC. So those are the top two ideas from our experts. Mind you, as soon as the markets open, we'll also get in the opening ticks on Sharda Cropchem. That will be very active too, for sure. It might also keep the rest of the agri space active. So that's on the cash markets, one thing to watch out for. The Nifty probably will open very flat. I think the SGX was suggesting a 15-20 point downtick, but the rest of the Asian mood has led to some bit of an uptick on that front as well. So that's one positive. Of course, stocks like Cipla, etc. might open with a bit of a green, so we'll keep our eyes peeled out for that. And the new listing will be the big one to watch out for in the session. Cipla certainly will open with a bit of a green, and DLF certainly will open with a bit of a red. So those are the top two movers on either side on the index. And here come the opening trades. We'll also get in the opening trade of Sharda Cropchem in a bit. Rather, that will be in around 45 minutes from now. But look at what's happening to the index movers. The Nifty 50 flat, a bit of an uptick in line with what the rest of the Asian markets are doing. Let's get in the top traded and the top moving counters. So Cipla should be one, Grasim should be one, Sun Pharma should be one. These are the top three movers on the index today. Sun Pharma too has added a bit of weight, up about 1% at 805. Some news were expected yesterday, negative at that, which haven't come about, so I believe some bit of buoyancy today. BPCL continues on its merry ways, amongst the best performing stocks yesterday, up another 0.5%. Coal India and Power Grid add to that, an ONGC, so PSUs are fairly active too in the session today, and IT is not far behind. Tech Mahindra is up about 0.5%, so brisk start to that one as well. What's losing out is the interesting bit. Amongst the heavyweights, I think it's Larsen and Toubro which has gone down a bit, so down about 1%. DLF has lost about 1% again, and Jindal Steel and ACC. Add to that an Axis Bank which is down about 0.5% as well. No deep gashes, but I think Bharti, L&T and Infosys amongst the losers, so that is keeping the market pegged back. But gains, as I said, United Spirits is the other one which is up 2.5%, so that's not done too badly for itself. But I believe the broader markets were open with a fair bit of green and a number of stocks very active as well.
Yes, marginally holding out as opposed to the frontline indices. Indian Hotels, that's gotten off to a good start. IFCI, Pidilite, and we were just talking about as to how this is a stock which is in news, considering they're looking to acquire the adhesive business of Blue Coat for a sum total of 263.6 crore rupees. And so that is one stock which has gotten off to a good start right now. Lots of other names which are actually holding out. Torrent Pharma, Glenmark, L&T Finance Holding, Emphasis, CESC, Adani Ports. These are all stocks which have gotten off to a smooth start. Indiabulls Housing Finance, Motherson Sumi seeing traction of about 0.5%. There are no big moves besides perhaps the Sanofi which is holding out very, very smartly. About 3 to about 0.5% apiece. That's the kind of range that the gainers are clocking in. I just want to mark a couple of volume buzzers as well. So Unitech, a marginally decent start there. IFCI has gotten off to a good start, 2% higher for this one. GMR Infrastructure, again a 0.5% uptick coming in there. You've got UCO Bank, PFC, which have again had a green start, and Adani Ports, Bank of India, IDBI Bank, Tata Global Beverages, Gen Irrigation, smidge in the green. That's how most of these names are right now. Okay, but Mahesh, I just want to get back to the point that you were earlier making about, you know, the market perhaps seeing a correction, and that correction is only going to come in if indeed the global news is averse to the market move. How deep could the correction be, and more importantly, what could be that big global trigger that could lead us to a fall? Would it have to be a US interest rate hike, and is it already not priced in? Because, you know, the market has been fearing about that for a while now.
Well, it's difficult to say what the correction could be. I think it's anybody's guess over there. But as you rightly said, I think it could be event, whether it's the US in terms of reversal of the interest rates cut. That could be the big event which could trigger it. Well, you're right in saying that market has been expecting that. But we have seen that when it actually happens, then there are shifts in money flows across various asset classes, and that could lead to some volatility. But again, the impact of that is anybody's guess. Frankly, we are not expecting a deep correction in our markets. I mean, Indian markets still look relatively better compared to some of the other emerging markets. But whenever that happens, we can't miss that. We'll also follow with the global line. But I think on the flip side, I would say that the domestic flows have been pretty good, and we've seen that trend emerge in the last 3 months or so. So that should actually balance out and act as a cushioning impact if at all there is any global risk aversion.
Okay, now Mahesh, a word on the specific pockets as well, and I want to start off with IT because it's done extremely well in the last maybe a couple of weeks, and the talk is of course of more dollar strength. Now the question is, if indeed that dollar strength and the rupee weakness leads to a bit of a market fall, would IT still be able to withstand it? And two, conversely, could IT actually strengthen further if the rupee were to weaken?
Well, if the strength what we are seeing in the dollar continues, and we've seen that despite the fact that we have seen good flows, FII flows and FDI flows in India, rupee has weakened a bit in the recent past. And I think overall we have seen the IT sector, yeah, while there is some impact because of how the rupee behaves vis-a-vis the dollar, but the real outperformance or underperformance for the IT stocks in the medium term or long term comes really from the outlook for IT services, say in US and Europe, and how the demand outlook is shaping up over there. So that outlook looks to be pretty good even for this year. If you look at the IT budgets, while most of the IT budgets are still behind schedule in terms of the target for this year, but we expect in the second half this year the most of the targets to be met. So, and the deal flow pipeline also for most of the large IT companies seems to be pretty good. So I think the volume growth outlook remains pretty strong, anywhere between around 14 to 16% in that range. And that I think would be a key driver for the IT companies. Yeah, in the short term, if rupee depreciates further, I think yeah, it can lead to some upgrade. But I think currently the analysts are anchored around rupees 60 to the dollar in terms of their forecast. If there is a case to believe that rupee would remain at elevated levels or around 62 or so, then you might see some upgrades coming in. But it's still too early to take that call.
We're talking about the IT space. Take a look at HCL Technologies, Tech Mahindra. These stocks are all sitting now at life highs. 1725 on HCL Technologies, up by about 1.5%. Tech Mahindra going strong at 24.99 thereabouts, and TCS as well looking good at 27.45. Great move in the IT sector in an otherwise tempered market. But Mahesh, you know, the last time we were chatting with you, you were talking about as to how there is scope of a re-rating when it comes to OMCs, because of crude prices going down and the effect on diesel under recoveries as well. What's your stance now on the OMC part, considering we've seen a fair amount of run-up already play out? And B, it seems like the impending decision on a gas price revision is going to come about very, very soon. What is your view on likes of ONGC and Reliance, etc.?
In the oil and gas sector, we have seen the sector play out, especially the diesel deregulation or the price increases have now gone through, and now with oil where it is, the diesel under recovery is almost zero. So I think to a large extent the benefit, okay, which was supposed to accrue because of the decrease in subsidies on the diesel has been played out in the oil marketing companies, and you will see that benefit getting reflected in terms of improved balance sheets. The last quarter also we saw the debt for HPCL and some of the other oil marketing companies came down, and I think that to a large extent has played out. I think when the balance sheets get repaired fully, I think you will see some possible re-rating. I think going forward it matters whether the marketing margins, okay, for these companies are able to improve, and how the competitive dynamics really comes into play, because now you would see probably some of the private retailers also entering into the market, and that's something which one needs to watch, and how that will play in terms of market share. But I think to a large extent we believe that it has played out. As for the upstream companies, the oil and gas sector, their gas price hike is something which is still being awaited. I think the quantum of that hike is something which could be lower than what initially market was expecting. And also one has to see whether the hike would be there for any incremental new discoveries, or it could also be applicable for the existing fields. That will really determine in terms of whether it will benefit some of the existing companies like ONGC.
By the way, look at some specific names. NBCC is up yet another 5%. So was up 5% yesterday or 6% yesterday, up another 5% today, and this is after a 25% move last week. So I think net, it's probably added around 40 to 45% in the last 7 days. That's a big move. It's a PSU stock, but we won't get tired of telling you that it's a stock that is in a fine uptick. The last 7 days, 40%, keeps on moving higher, so really good going. The other one which has done extremely well is Force Motors. It's at 1300 now. This is after the 20% move yesterday, adds another 9%. So that's the other big mover in the session today, 1315 for this one. Mahesh, the market is latching on to individual names, irrespective of the sector being in a pause mode or otherwise. There are individual names which the market is really keen on picking up. NBCC a case in point, Force Motors a case in point. We've seen some auto components over the last 3 odd months doing extremely well. Amongst the smaller size names, what space looks to be a definite outperformer over the course of the next 6 to 12 months? I know you can't talk stocks, but is there a broad pocket that you believe as a whole could really move up over the next 12 months?
Well, I think one, as I mentioned earlier and as you rightly pointed out, I think it's getting more stock specific, and companies where the fundamentals are good, the balance sheets are strong, and either there is a turnaround or higher growth expected. I think market is now pricing in growth and giving you a premium for that, especially at the company level, much larger. And that's where we have seen the pockets of outperformance coming through. I don't see that in the small and mid-cap space any particular sector which could really outperform, but broadly if you look at the sectors, okay, which we feel could outperform over the next 1 year or so, would be like autos. We have seen a decent outperformance in the recent past, both in the two-wheelers and in the four-wheeler space. And if you go back by initial feedback, okay, from the dealers, the footfalls are increasing, and this festive season this time looks to be pretty good. Even the discounts on some of the models have come down. So this is a sector I think which could see some upgrades in terms of volume numbers for next year, and that could drive certain outperformance going forward. Besides that, other sectors like IT, for example, is something which we think can be a steady outperformer going forward. And also banks, while we have seen credit growth slowing down, it's been at an all-time low at around 10.5%. But the private sector banks and banks which are well entrenched and growing, I think they will continue to gain market share, and especially the NBFC sector, where we expect some moderation in interest rates in the latter part of this fiscal year, and some pickup in the retail credit. That should mean better earnings growth for some of the NBFCs which are catering to the retail segment.
Okay, Mahesh, really good chatting with you. Thanks so much for taking time out and speaking with us today. Good to have you on the show. That's the view from Mahesh Patil, co-CIO at Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund, talking about his likes and dislikes.